I am back in my Forever World and Grounded, and today I'm going to be starting to lay the foundations for the Mega Museum, which is going to be the Mega Build that I'm going to be working on next. Just to give you a quick recap, I am on day 150. I have completed everything in the lower yard. The only things I haven't done is I have not plugged the haze, and I have not collected any of the Supreme Marble or Quartzite because I don't have a Tier 3 hammer just yet. But everything else in the lower yard, to the best of my knowledge, has been completed. All labs completed, all scabbies collected, all milk mowers collected. I'm pretty sure I've done everything in the lower yard. But with that said, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be building the Mega Museum over here. And the point of the Mega Museum is to just show off everything that's in the game, kind of display everything that I've earned and unlocked. And that's what we'll be doing here. So to start off, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use the pebblet foundations to kind of level off this area. Because it's going to be a lot easier if I'm going to use the existing terrain, but I just want to kind of level everything off. So it's going to be much easier to build. And that's going to be most easily done by this. I was thinking about using the stem scaffolds, but I might just use those for something else. But just being able to level off these rocks here and kind of lay a foundation of what I want to do. The first floor, I guess, will be made out of, I can make it out of the stone foundations, and then I'm going to use weed stem floors for the upper areas, the upper floors. And this thing's going to probably span this entire area here. So it's going to be pretty large. I'm going to try to use the existing terrain and incorporate it into the build itself. And I'm also going to try to incorporate the water down there. So later on, I'll end up putting like the buoyant foundations and anything that's like water related, maybe down there. I'm also going to have to build a giant fence around this whole thing because I am a little bit concerned. I've been getting raided a lot more lately than I had been in the past. So I want to make sure that I'm able to handle that and not have to worry about dealing with just getting completely bombarded with raids. Although I did unlock the waft emitter and I did craft the waft emitter. And what I think I might do is every couple of days, just to maybe stop the bugs from attacking me or raiding me, is to like just put a couple of amp parts in there, red amp parts, and then just that should hopefully stop the raids from happening. I think I haven't done a ton of testing on the factory activity, but I believe that will stop the raids from happening as frequently as they do, as long as I remember to do it. And honestly, putting a couple red amp parts in there, it's a super easy fight, and it's just a little bit extra raw science as well. So yeah, I'm going to use the foundations here like this. I did farm a ton of resources, so I have a lot of weed stems over here. There's like almost a whole chest of mushroom bricks going. And I also have 3 ovens going over in my base on the other side of the map. That also has the bricks going. So I did go into the upper yard a little bit. I went up there to get charcoal and I got some tough gunk. I wanted to do that to make the mint mace, and because I thought that was going to be the best thing to use inside of the haze when I cleared it, which I just recently did. If you've missed any of the like updates up to this point on what I've done in the save, you can check them out over on the playlist, which is linked in the description down below. I've also been doing some progress on my live streams, so you can check those out as well. They're going to be on the channel as well on the live tab if you want to see any of the stuff that's been going on that hasn't been captured in these videos. I found that the things that people seem most interested in from the save are either going to be building or kind of like, I don't know, tips and tricks and stuff like that, or when new stuff comes out. So like the Easter eggs were just added, so I put that kind of stuff on here. So I think that's the kind of stuff that I'm going to focus on for this for these videos. But if there's anything else you would like to see, let me know in the comments down below. So something like this, I think the way I can incorporate this is like leaving this rock here, and then I can put like bombardier beetle or something on here. That's the kind of so I want to definitely keep the terrain going and not completely just hide all of it. So I think that's something cool that could be here. So we could do like a display here of a bombardier beetle. And what else is on rocks? Maybe we can do some... It does seem like wherever there's bombardier beetles, or not wherever there are, but a lot of places there's bombardier beetles, it does seem like there's also going to be the little lawn mites wandering around. So that could be a pretty cool idea to have them be incorporated right here. So let's see, where is the bombardier beetle? So we'll maybe put a bombardier beetle up on this rock right here. And we'll have him sitting there. And then we can have these little guys creeping around over here, which I think is pretty interesting. So you could do something like that. So I think this will be a cool way of incorporating the existing terrain and not just completely covering it all up. Also, I kind of don't want to cover up all the pebbles here because they're actually going to provide a ton of rocks. Yeah, since we want it to actually look like a museum, I'm going to put the little sprig fence around here. So it's kind of blocking it in. So, you know, if you go to a museum, you can't just walk up and touch everything, right? You want to make sure you're not letting people just walk in and they can see what's going on, but you can't actually touch everything, because otherwise that's how your stuff would end up getting completely destroyed and stuff like that. So we'll put that around there. So I'll have to farm the... There's plenty of sprigs around here. We'll farm the sprigs, but I think that is actually pretty cool. So we'll fill these all in. And that'll be kind of like the first display. So I'm just trying to think of what creatures do you run into early game. And yeah, we'll just fill in this gap here. One thing I really wish they would have added at some point would have been mushroom floors. I think that would have been pretty cool. By the way, who else's pet? Oh my god, that bee scared me. Who else has a pet ant and it just gets in the way all the time or knocks you off of things? Because I've been trying to farm gum, I've built a bunch of little like clay paths up to the gum. Like specifically over here. Not sure if we can see it from here. Yeah, I built the little clay thing up there, and every time I'm walking up it, the ant just knocks me off. So I have to be super careful. It's just like, oh, knock me off, I'm not paying attention, bam. Quick damage or could possibly die. Those are pretty high falls. I just wanted this to kind of be like a level area here. So let's move these over. As long as it's not exposing too much of the rock face. I can just make that like a path or something up there. I've actually never used the paths in this game. I was kind of wondering like, what would be a good way of using the paths? What would they be used for? Where is that weevil? So this is something I like now. I can hit these guys with my spicy weapons, and I can actually just instantly cook them, which is pretty cool. Oh, one thing I also forgot to mention, I did beat the broodmother. So I've killed the broodmother once. It was a pretty easy fight because I have level 6 ladybug armor, and I have a level 6 spicy antlion greatsword. And I like super over prepared for it by drinking a bunch of smoothies and planning out my mutations, so I just didn't go into it willy-nilly. So it ended up being a pretty easy fight. But it was certainly cool. Actually, this is okay. We'll put it here. Can I put it on the dirt? That's on the dirt, and we'll put the aphid here. Whatever's the closest point that I can put it. I could even just have a... Oh, wait. I know what I want to do. I will do the red ants trying to catch a weevil. Because they do fight weevils, or they do eat weevils. Weevils are usually near mushrooms. Oh, there are actually mushrooms there. Oh, I know what I can do. I know exactly what I can do. I can put a mushroom plot, maybe like here. Let's do it. We'll do a garden patch. So this will show off the gardening. Do a garden patch. I'll put mushrooms in it, and then I will have some weevils over here going towards the mushrooms, because that actually is how they interact with the world. They do actually go after mushrooms. So we have a weevil. Weevil's coming over here towards this. And then we'll have ourselves a couple of red ants going after them. Not the soldiers, though. The soldiers will fight pretty much anything. So maybe I'll have a soldier ant fighting a stink bug, because that's also something that seems to happen pretty regularly in the lower yard. So yeah, we'll do something like this. We'll have a red ant going over here, like he's going towards these guys. I think I could also do something with like the campfire setup as well. And then we'll put a basket next to it, even though these baskets I think have stuff, and we'll just copy the basket next to it. And then we'll copy the red ants, because the red ants like to eat stuff off your roasting spits. I think I need to put him back in his house. Actually, I should be using the red ant I should be using the pet red ant right now, because they're the ones that give you extra ability to carry stuff. All right, we'll put you there. Yeah, we'll have the ant coming over here trying to eat our food. And that's actually pretty funny, because that's how it actually works. I'm gonna put a stink bug here. And then I'm gonna have some soldier ants coming after him. Here. Then we'll even put like maybe a worker ant or two behind him, because the worker ants do follow the soldier ants. So it'll be kind of like you can be stand up here, kind of look down on it. So that means I'm gonna have to extend this out a little bit. I think that's pretty cool. You can look down and see them essentially fighting with each other, which seems to happen more often now. It used to be... The red soldier ants never used to wander around the yard that much, but now they seem to wander around quite a bit, so... Again, I don't know when they changed that. It used to be they would only be like right near the red anthill, but now they're pretty much everywhere, so... Oh yeah, I think that looks really cool. And then is there anything else? Larva. We gotta do larva. Larva are normally seem to be grouped together quite a lot. Maybe we'll have the larva over here. And then I got to do the spiders. But overall, I think that looks pretty cool. We have, so you can kind of look down and see the different interactions between the bugs. Yeah, the ball. Oh, I have a pretty cool idea. I think I'll make a room for each one of the bosses that shows off each of their stuff. So like, we'll have a broodmother room that has all of the broodmother stuff. The broodmother rocking chair, a full armor set of the broodmother chandelier. I think that'll be pretty cool. Do one of those for each boss that has drops that I can actually make. All right, that's pretty good, that one. These guys usually travel in pairs. There we go. Well, the firefly's going up there. Yeah, I'll do the spiders somewhere else, but I think that's a pretty good layout so far. Let me know what you think. If you have suggestions, let me know in the comments down below. Just do them back here, maybe. Put them down here. Is this too steep? No, this is fine. So I'll put one of you guys there. We'll put the little guys running around different directions because there's always a bunch of them. Then we'll put my least favorite creature in... Well, is it my least favorite creature in the whole game? I think this one gets a rock to its own, maybe. A rock to itself. Put that guy up there. Oops. There are sometimes spiderlings near these guys. We'll just put a bunch of spiderlings, because who doesn't like spiderlings? They're the easiest spider in the game to kill. Alright, and then I'll just have to figure out a way to allow to walk. There's going to have to be a way to walk over here and see all of this. So we got to do a walkway. Alright, so I think I figured out how I kind of want the layout down to be down here. So I moved the larva out of the way for just a second, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little path here. I was going to use the pebblet paths, but they really only work on super flat ground. So because this is not flat, they don't do very well here. So what we'll probably do here is just have this kind of come out and go around. So I'll put the larva back down here, because they're kind of like making their way over this way. Then we'll just have... I'll just put a little half path here. Actually, maybe we make this go up. You are driving me crazy, I swear to God, my dude. I wish you could tell the pet to stay. Like, just have it, not like in the house, but like literally just stay where it is. And maybe, this might actually make sense. I can actually incorporate the floors here, because do something like this. Or it's kind of like a viewing deck or something. And I can just build something. I can have it go where you can actually go back here too. So like this will come all the way across here. You can see the spiders and everything like that. And then it'll turn this way, and I'll put like another building back here. I think that's good. It also makes it so that I should be able to use the railings properly. The one thing with the half ramps and the half stairs, there's no half railings. So you can't just use like one. But I think this is pretty decent. It'll incorporate more of the... Go there. Yeah, then this should go up perfectly. Whoops, you're the wrong one. You're going to go up here. And put you there. There. Because I have a ton of crude rope and a ton of wheat stems. Just do it to here for now. This kind of gives you like the overlook over here. And actually, so I could even do more than that. Well, that's fine. Kind of see the spiders over here. It incorporates, you can see these from over here too if you want to see them, but you can also see them from up here. Just kind of thinking like when you think of a museum, it's kind of like there's air. It's almost like there's invisible arrows on the floor. It's like you walk in the door. So like, let's just say this was the front door. You walk in, you look at this exhibit, then you go to the next exhibit, then you go to the next exhibit. The only thing I haven't thought of is how do we actually get up here? So more likely to be like coming this way. Maybe the front door's down there, and then it's going to come around here and wrap around, but it'll all be, and also I could probably put, actually, maybe I could put some of the flying stuff in here, because I'll probably do another floor above this or something. So I could actually have like bees and gnats and stuff flying around here. But I think this looks pretty cool because it's kind of like grouping the creatures all together with what they actually do. So again, these guys eat food off your roasting spit. The ladybugs are always chasing aphids. The red ants are trying to eat the weevils. The weevils are attracted to the mushrooms. There seems to be beetles and lawn mites near each other in quite a few places in the yard, like over by the hedge and also over by the Trow Gulch. Lightning bugs kind of walking up there, or the fireflies. And we got the stink bugs fighting the soldier ants, and then another red ant there. And then over here, we're just going to have larvae kind of doing their own thing. And then the spiders are just kind of hanging out over here as far away from me as possible because I don't want to be near them. And this will just lead to the next area over here. So overall, I think this is pretty good progress here. I will fill in the rest of this stuff before the next video and kind of show you what that looks like when I kick it off. And then I'm going to think about how to incorporate... I'm going to have to put a second floor in, or at least a ceiling in some capacity, so that I can have the flying creatures. And then down here will be the water creatures, so I'll probably try to focus on that. I want to get all the stuff from the lower yard laid out first, in terms of this stuff. And then I also need to build a spot. Maybe over here is where I do the weapons or something in armor. And I'm going to do one area for each of the bosses. I think that's a really cool idea. Have one area for each of the bosses. But anyway, let me know what you think about my idea for this Mega Museum. If it's something you've done before and you have any ideas or suggestions on what's worked for you, or even if you've never built one before and you're just kind of thinking about what I'm doing here and it looks like something that's like, oh, you could do this, it might be pretty cool. Let me know in the comments down below. If you found the video entertaining, interesting, just like this kind of content, make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.